how to light a doorway scene at night. There are two shots to plan for here. The person inside the house looking out and the person standing outside looking in. So here we have a clean single. We can see the key light is coming from camera right, maybe some kind of lamp off-screen practical. There's also a hair light just to pop the character out a bit more from the background. And notice how we see into the background to add depth to the image. Here we have an over-the-shoulder shot. Our key light is meant to be our porch light from above. The subject is center framed, the same as the last shot, and in the background we have a gradient across the ceiling, again to add depth. Our final reference here is again an over-the-shoulder shot. The main subject is side lit from what is probably playing as an off-screen practical, maybe a little lamp or something. There is a bit of a hair light to separate his hair from falling into the dark part of the background. Background is also lit again with a mixture of light and dark, and we also see a very subtle porch light which edges out the subject in the foreground. Breakdown 1. So the first thing to do is set up the shot and get the framing set. We start with the key light. We're going to play the key light as a porch light, so we place it high up and a bit of an angle. This is set at 3200 Kelvin, and here is what just the key light looks like on its own. Next, I added a small tube light set around the same color as the key, but placed inside the doorway, out of shot. This light is extending the key light and giving a bit more exposure on our subject and into the hallway. Next, I put a small tube light in the kitchen, which is on a much cooler white color. This is to give us some color separation. I've angled this light towards the ceiling slightly to get that bounce light, which gives us a much softer light and a general ambience on the doorway. Finally, we have our fourth and last light, which is a Godox M1 that I've put on a stand aimed at the ceiling. What I'm trying to do here is create a slight gradient as we saw in our second reference image. I've set this to a warm color around 3200 Kelvin. Also, by utilizing the over-the-shoulder shot, we have a foreground, midground, and background. The reverse shot. Another over-the-shoulder shot. We have our key light coming from camera left behind that wall, and we have an edge light as well, which is also edging out the foreground subject. Background is all lit up as well, mixed with the practicals and clearly some huge ambient lighting set up too. Another over-the-shoulder shot. There's a use again of a harder edge light, and our key is a soft light coming from both camera right and above. Notice the reflections in the hat. Same again, over the shoulder shot, key from camera left on our main subject, some sort of blue light above to give us a color contrast, and quite a bit of light from inside lighting up a bit of the door and hitting our foreground subject. Breakdown 2. So here is our final shot. Hopefully you can see straight away some of the things we've taken away from our references. So first thing we've done is slightly adjust the position of our key light to angle more towards our subject. I've also kept the small tube light above that's inside of the doorway to give us more exposure on our foreground elements. We then create an edge light on our subject using one of the small tube lights to separate our subject from the dark side of the background. I was trying to play this as a possible street lamp, so it's set at a cooler white color. Next, we went full indie filmmaking and just parked another car behind the car that's in shot and switched on the full beam headlights. This gives us the lights across the floor. Then, because we placed the car in the background, I chucked in the Aperture B7C bulb in the corner inside of the car to act as the car's interior light. And that's it. How to light a doorway scene at night.
Funny thing.